Before I explain how I made $40,000 in a month on YouTube, I need to clear up something. Because this is the most part where people like to misunderstand success. Most people look at results and assume it's either luck, timing, or some hidden trick. They see the outcome but never actually ask what system produced it. And that's the biggest mistake. YouTube isn't just a money-making machine by itself. Amazon isn't a money machine by itself. Movie clips or clipping, for example, aren't the secret. These are just vehicles. What actually matters is understanding the distribution and the demand and execution. I didn't start this knowing I was entering a profitable niche. I didn't even have an idea or the language at that time. What I did understand was attention. And more importantly, where attention already exists. That's a key marketing principle. You don't create demand, you tap into it. Once you understand that, everything changes. People don't fail because they are not talented. They fail because they don't understand how the systems work. They chase tactics without understanding the framework underneath. So when I say I made $40,000 in a month, I don't want you thinking, let me copy what he did. I want you to be thinking, what systems did he understand that I don't yet? Because if you don't understand the system, copying the tactics will never work. Now here's the part most people miss, and this is very important. I didn't sit down one day and say, let me find a profitable niche. I didn't even know what that even meant at that time. What I did know at the time is that I love movies and music since I was a kid, especially movies. I always wanted to be an actor. More broadly, I wanted to be in the entertainment industry, not just creatively, but on the business and marketing side. That matters more than most people realize, because when you build something aligned to your genuine interest, consistency stops feeling forced. You don't burn out as quick. You pay attention longer, you go deeper. When I started working on movie clips on YouTube, it wasn't a hack. It was a natural extension of something I already cared about. Later, I validated that interest with data. I used tools like TubeBuddy and vidIQ to confirm, number 1, search demand, 2, audience size, 3, engagement patterns. Not to chase trends blindly, but to confirm that what I already loved had demand. That's critical principle in marketing. The best position is where interest and demand overlap. I didn't invent attention. I didn't force people to care. I tapped into something people already wanted to watch. From there, everything became execution. I focused on improving titles and thumbnails and increasing my CTR, paying attention to the watch time and retention, scaling formats that performed instead of guessing it. So no, this isn't about clipping. The real lesson here is start with alignment, confirm the demand, then execute with structure. Because if you skip this, you will burn out, my friend. If you skip demand, you stay invisible. If you skip execution, nothing compounds. This is the uncomfortable part, but it's the truth. Most people don't fail because YouTube doesn't work. They fail because they never treat it like a system or like their job that they love. They post emotionally, they upload randomly, they chase motivation instead of structure. From a marketing perspective, that's failure by design. Now here's what I noticed earlier on. People focus on content, but they ignore distribution. They care about what they post, but not how it actually is positioned. Who is it for? Why do they want to click? That's why I paid attention to metrics most people ignore. For example, we need to pay attention to CTR. Why are people clicking? Watch time. What are they saying? Retention. Are they dropping off? Patterns. What formats consistently perform? Most creators never analyze this. They guess, and that leads to burnout. This is why my background actually matters. I'm a master qualified in digital marketing and digital business. I didn't rely on just guessing. I studied what platforms actually work and how audiences behave and how attention converts into revenue. While working a 9-to-5, I spent in 2024 learning aggressively. I took courses like Udemy, Coursera, LinkedIn Learning, because I understood something very, very simple. If you don't understand the system will always find a way to beat you. People love to say everything's a scam. But the real scam is refusing to learn, then outsourcing blindly, wondering why nothing works. Knowledge protects you. Systems scale you. Spectators stay spectators because they never slow down long enough to learn why something works. Operators study and test and execute. That's the difference. I don't usually talk about this, but this part matters. Before any of the numbers, before Amazon, YouTube, I had a very clear dream. I wanted to work in the entertainment industry at the highest levels, like working in Warner Brothers or at Sony Pictures. I didn't just want to be around film. I wanted to be the head of marketing, someone who's responsible for exposure, reach, and execution. So later that year in 2025, I applied, I interviewed, and I waited. Months went by, the first interview, the second interview, and then silence. I genuinely thought I was shortlisted, so I just held by that hope. Eventually, I went to the office in Dublin in person, and that's when I realized that I had been rejected. At that moment, it hurt, not because I felt entitled, but because I knew the skills I had were very valuable. I felt undervalued and I felt overlooked for a while, so I went quiet. Here's what changed everything. I didn't let that rejection turn into bitterness. I turned it into pressure. Pressure forced me to sharpen my skills. Pressure forced me to execute harder. Pressure forced me to prove to myself that I didn't need permission to operate at that level. I stopped trying to be the chosen one. I started believing in myself and building proof. I focused on mastering audience distribution and behavior and execution. I've learned academically and practically through years of experience. And slowly the results began to compound. That rejection didn't stop me from entering the industry. It just changed the door that I walked through. So let me be very clear about the lessons here. The lesson isn't about YouTube. It isn't about clipping. It isn't about Amazon either. Those are just vehicles. What actually changed my life was learning how to think in systems. Once you understand how attention works and how demand is identified and how execution compounds over time, that platform becomes secondary. You stop chasing tactics and start building frameworks. That's why I was able to use my YouTube revenue and reinvest into other business models like Amazon FBA, wholesale, private label, drop shipping, not just some random side hustle, but as a part of a long-term portfolio strategy. I wasn't gambling, I was reallocating my capital. Most people try to win with one thing and panic when it starts to slow down. Operators diversify, and that's how they are able to build and leverage. And this is important. If you are watching thinking, can I do exactly what he did? Then you are asking the wrong question, my friend. The right question is, do I understand the system well enough to build my own vehicle? Because once you do it, the results stop being accidental. My goal today isn't to flex or to impress you. It's to show you that what looks extraordinary from the outside is actually very logical when you understand the framework from the inside. So what I want you guys to do is to learn how to think, learn how to position, learn to execute. That's how you stop spectating and procrastinating and actually start operating like a boss. It's been your boy, Ali Ghazal. Thank you, and leave a subscribe and comment on what you want to see on the next upload. Thank you.